What's going on, guys? Today we're talking about biceps training variations, and more specifically, we're talking about exercises to hit that peak of the biceps, so that nice lump that we all want when training our biceps. If you're somebody that goes to the gym and just hits barbell curls and dumbbell curls, it's time to change it up. It's time to start adding smarter variations that are going to put your biceps into a disadvantaged position to really increase the tension and stress we're placing on them. Without further ado, let's dive into the first one. The first variation I've been playing with a lot is this horizontal cable preacher curl. Now essentially what you're going to do is you're going to set your body up where the arm is horizontal with a cable or pulley, and ideally when you have that arm in 90 degrees on that base, that cable is going to be at like a directional, like horizontal pull. So there's this constant tension throughout, and that way when you're at the peak of the contraction, so when you're at 90 starting to pass it, you're really getting a lot of tension from that cable. Now, why I love this variation so much and why I've actually choose it over the traditional preacher right now is because if we look at that cable and how it's pulling the muscle, there really is never a point when the joint is getting stacked and we're taking off some of that force. When we do traditional preachers, when we curl that weight up, the joint is actually stacked and we're not getting so much load on the bicep. So by adding this cable and really disadvantaging the bicep, we can get a full contraction throughout the full movement while getting a lot of tension and a lot of stress on that muscle group. If you can, try to find a variation in your gym to make this work. Now, obviously, equipment might be a little bit limited, but if you can, I highly suggest trying and adding this into your routine. The second variation I've been playing with a lot is this banded preacher curl. So essentially, to kind of go off the point I made earlier in the previous clip, is at the top of the movement, there's never a point where we're really stacking that joint and not getting a lot of force with this added cable. That cable is pulling the whole time. Now, obviously my cable is less than ideal in this video. I'm making do with what I have in my gym. However, if you have a traditional cable, I would say stick with one of the mini bands. That's usually perfect, and try to find a bench with a good seat that isn't moving like mine. But I'm telling you, if you do this correctly and you really anchor that elbow and focus on getting that full contraction at the top, you are going to feel an insane biceps pump, and you're putting on constant tension once again. So there's never a point in this movement where we're stacking the joint and we're letting gravity kind of snake by without putting a lot of force on that muscle group. So if you haven't yet, try this. You should have the equipment in your gym, and I highly recommend adding it in. The final variation that I've been loving is the incline dumbbell curl. This is a variation that I don't think gets utilized enough, and pretty much everybody can perform this in their gym. Everyone generally has an incline bench and dumbbells. Now, why this is awesome is because, again, there is no real point when the muscle is at an advantage when the weight is stacked over that elbow joint. So really only at the top you're gonna have a slight moment of that, but this is so great for the eccentric loading pattern and really being able to slow down that movement and honestly check your ego at the door and get a ton of effort out of not a lot of weight. Try these, you will not regret it. The name of the game is smarter training. If you're really trying to increase that peak of the biceps, then it's time to start adding more variations to truly disadvantage this muscle group. Other favorite variations that I love are spider curls and barbell 21s. So hopefully you can add some of these into your program. If you have any variations that I didn't mention that you truly love for increasing the overall size of your biceps, drop them in the comments below. And as always, please subscribe.